Okay, so this is basically the same model that the client has. This is brand new right off the shelf, never been in the packaging. And let's take a look at what this operation looks like. Okay, so we're going to emulate what the client's done. Okay, so yep, it's not dropping evenly, that's for sure. Here's why. So it turns out most door bottoms are not meant to drop evenly, even though there are some that do. They're generally for a specific application, and that is a sliding door application where the door is moving in this direction and not in this direction. So the way that a door bottom actually works is that when the door is closed, the plunger that you see here in this decal from the factory is saying, don't cut this side. If you have to trim it, you cut this side. Actually, their decal on this unit shouldn't say don't cut this at all, because this is a 26-inch length. You can't field trim this, even though I'm sure that you can. The standard outline is less than 36-inch has to be ordered that size because it can't be trimmed, even though I could get in there and probably take a look and trim this slightly. So the bottom line is this. This is how door bottoms work. Door closes, the plunger is sticking back here off my elbow, and when the door closes, this makes contact with the rabbet of the frame in this model, where it's mortised. It's a mortise style. Surface-mounted units would make contact generally with the stop, or actually the soffit of the stop, when they're installed on the push side, and sometimes they're installed on the pull side. But this is going to make contact with the rabbet of the frame, the door pocket. When the door is pushed closed, by the time it gets down to about, whatever, 20, 15 degree, 10 degree, that drop bolt or plunger is now hitting the door pocket or the rabbet. As you continue to pull the door closed, this has nowhere to go but in, and when it goes in, it drops. Now, a standard application is going to be, it drops, but what actually happens is, and my thumb is important because it's going to pretend to be the floor, it makes contact with the floor. So now I'm restricting it dropping any further because my thumb is pretending to be the floor. As you continue to close the door, look what happens on the other side. Okay? It continues to drop down evenly. So if I didn't restrict, if my thumb wasn't acting as the floor, it would drop unevenly. But when it comes down and hits the floor, it forces the other end to kind of knife down. So the action is, door closes, it drops here, hits the floor, and then comes down like this. Now, why does it work that way? The reason it's meant to work that way is because if it dropped evenly all the way down in a swinging application, as soon as you start to make contact, the entire door bottom is going to make contact with the floor all at one time. You're still moving the door 10 degree, 9 degree, 8 degree, 5 degree. Now you're really dragging the bottom on the floor. When it drops and then knifes down, it's because you're not actually moving like this. You're actually moving like this. You're coming from 10 degree to 5 to 0, or to close. So you really want it to knife down so that the seal is not dragging across the entire floor. There are instances when someone has it adjusted, and how much projection on the drop bolt or the plunger there is directly relates to how much drop you can achieve. When it's forcing the door bottom to drop more than it needs to, if it were to drop evenly, you could end up easily ripping the door insert, in this case the silicone foam that's here, the silicone right out of the door bottom. People have also called and said the insert came right out. Well, that's not how they're meant to be. This was overly adjusted. Customer sends pictures and I can see it's hanging out far more than it needs to. And then the next question is, what's the clearance? Well, it's a 3/16 of an inch. Well, you've got it adjusted so it drops 3/4 inch. So the bottom line is, that's why it drops unevenly. It's meant to do so. It's literally engineered to do so. It's part and parcel of the design of these, because this bolt is connected to a flat spring. Well, that flat spring, when it compresses, bellies, and it forces the long end of this to come down first. And then, of course, the rest is elementary, where it can't go any further because it hits the ground and then knifes down. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.